Hey everybody, it's Funny here once again. Hope you're doing well. Today we are rambling about a bunch of different things. We're going to talk about some upcoming video ideas I have, check in with y'all, I guess, see how things are going. I want to sort of spitball some of those upcoming ideas and ask you what you think of them, if they are worth pursuing or not, and talk about some changes I made to the case today. And, you know, people are saying that the channel's getting better, it's less rambly, the videos are more focused, more concise, more to the point. Well, today I'm gonna ruin all that, and we're gonna do a super rambly about ramble episode on the rambling. So on the recording front, nothing's changed. It is the same as I mentioned in the 100 episode special. I'm still going straight into the iPad. I do want that to change at some point, but I feel like the sheer volume of output that I have going on, I really do not want to mess with it in too much. I feel like I've just like so honed down what's going on with it that I want to be really careful to not make any big changes. So I understand you can actually use other gear though with the iPad. Like I could bring in other cameras that are compatible with it, and then I could add other angles without having to use my phone, because to be honest, being without my phone for like an hour every evening is actually kind of like a struggle, but then maybe the videos get done faster for it anyway. Anyway, so we'll talk about my rack real quick for just a super rapid fire update on it and changes I made. I will also say check out my super quality fisheye. Someone was asking me how I got the fisheye effect on the video, if I was using a VX2000 or something, and if you know what that is, you are a real OG and drop it in the comments. But no, it is a Mini Cooper clip-on fisheye for a cell phone that my friend got when they purchased a Mini Cooper. Yeah. Really high production here, but it does allow me to fit the whole thing in the frame, so that's super useful, and you can pretend you're making a skate video. So yeah, top to bottom I have all of my Behringer stuff hiding my shame at the front row, the top row where it's out of the camera. We have this, I'm not going to go module by module, but I will just say this quick because I don't intend to do an episode on it. This USB audio interface that I tried that is total crap. I have not used it since. It does not power for anything. There's my 2-minute episode on it. I would say get a proper interface. Don't get that thing. This is the Behringer K2 Mark II. I just did an episode on that. It is big enough that I won't go through every single module, but I'll talk about that one. I just did an episode on that. Check it out if you are interested in that one. I have it Eurorack mounted. Other Behringer models, and then onto the oscillator row. I'll zoom out here so you can see them all. The only thing to note here right now at the moment is I do have the Make Noise Spectrophone on the way. There will definitely be a video on that. I'm worried it might be incredibly hard to cover for anyone, never mind me, but we are going to try. However, it is out on loan to Jesse, so I have his Mimeophone in its place. 4MS ensemble oscillator matching in white on the Mordax Data, which I moved up a row because I think this on the iPad stand is a better fit. Hopefully you can see that on the other camera, but it just lines up with the data better, and then I can, you know, sort of pull out the Spectrophone if somebody lends me something, and then it's close to the data and they can be in the same shot. We'll see how that goes. Some stuff moved around up here, but mostly like the wave shaping stuff is in here, the full processor, the Super Sautor, and then some filters, the low pass gate, the Ceres. I love that Vostok stuff. There's a way out module. I probably won't ever do a video on that, but anyway, what did move up, and this is probably sort of the changes I wanted to make this row in particular, were what spawned the whole re-rack that I did this afternoon, is I wanted to get the Hermod Plus hopefully up a new row to kind of get it more centered in it. The thing I feel like the Megarack is sort of intended to be sat at, but in my current setup I'm at a weird standing angle where my eye level is almost at the top of it, so the lower down things get, the more I'm kind of like it's at a bit of an angle, right? The more I'm kind of looking at it parallel, so I'm not trying to be like super finicky about the ergonomics or whatever, but it just like the higher the Hermod can be, the better, so I can be more directly at the screen instead of, you know, bending down or looking down at it or whatever. So long term I need to find something to do, and that might actually mean raising the entire rack up more, because I also like standing in videos. I feel like it kind of, I don't know, this is my this is my standing desk for ergonomics, or anyway, I don't want to be a beanbagger or whatever they say. I'll be on the floor like one. Anyway, so Hermod moving up. I have the 125 in here as well because I want to do some more MIDI syncing stuff as well, and partially it helps fill out this row entirety. We'll see if that stuff might change around. I did move the Bitbox micro up here as well because it's near the MIDI module, but also because it has a screen and I want everything to be up in this higher row, which is great. Fuji staying here, although I did talk in the Hermod Plus video that I did recently about how you can do envelopes on board. I might still stick to using the Fuji because in that video I mentioned how you have to give up one of your other channels if you want to use the envelope output of one channel. So hey, if I want to do a monophonic voice out of the first channel, I have to give up that second channel if I want to also send the envelope up. So depending on the simplicity of the envelope, it's easier to just reach for the Fuji. You also get hands-on controls. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. I have the option to do both in this configuration, obviously. Acid Rain Technology Maestro, I've talked a lot about. This section alone will be the only one that I go over individual modules for, I promise. But I talked a lot in that video about my ideal. So I've talked a lot about LFO modules and how I'm not really happy with any of them. However, the Maestro comes pretty close, but there's some things about it that I feel like it's not focused on my needs. Like there's lots of things that people love on it, like the onboard chaining of wave shapes and stuff. Like there's like LFO sequencing you can do with it and the performative aspect of it. I really like some of that, but I also feel like I don't know, the attenuation, some other things about it, I'm just like kind of not entirely sold on it. I really like it, but I just feel like the more barriers or the more headaches that go into your LFO, the more I'm likely to not use modulation, if that makes sense. I don't want there to be any barrier, even if it's just barrier upstairs. I don't want there to be any barriers. I just want to be grabbing clock modulation and going. So on that note, I picked up this, hopefully you can see, QVL quad variable LFO, and I'm hoping this will make modulation really easy and hands-on. Now I recognize that it's probably not as immediate as the Maestro. You can just click at it and go. Love these screens, just having the oscilloscope right on there so you can see what's going on, so you can go through the menus without having to remember combos. I love that. Anyway, screens so good. I wish the Maestro had a screen. It just makes it so much easier to see what's going on. Like right now, having an oscilloscope on board, perfect. Preset recall without having to do button combos or read the buttons as a light up array or anything. Just none of that nonsense. I love that. But also the reason I was actually like sort of torn on getting the QVL because I was also thinking of getting the multi-mod because I could do one LFO output on the Hermod and then just make it into a whole bunch of different shapes, and sort of like if I send a sine output, I could essentially have like 8 cosine outputs coming out of the multi-mod was my thought. I don't know if that's actually how it works, like specifically, or how easy it is to do that, but I hummed and hawed about it, and the more I thought about it, the more I looked at QVL and Kermit by Industrial Music Electronics, so I'm going to hang this up for a moment, and I just was like, I think the QVL actually really has a lot of things that I like. Now we'll have to discover it. I'm probably not going to even get to that today at all, but yeah, QVL is where I'm hoping to go, and it shares a lot of the DNA. Still, again, no attenuation. What is with LFOs, and like they just don't want attenuation. So for that reason, it's near the asset. But actually, I think the thing that finally put me over the edge on picking up the QVL over the multi-mod was because I don't actually have a sample and hold module, which is sort of not entirely true, actually. I got my 1U conversion back in the rack here at the bottom, so I could do sample or track and hold of the IntelliGel noise tools, but I was kind of like, that is one thing that the QVL can do over the multi-mod that I want it for that reason. Now someone's probably can point out that there's a way to do track and hold as well, but I just feel like hopefully all of those complex things and complex waveforms are going to be easier on the QVL. So we'll see. We have like the super simple button combo in the Maestro, and then we have the beautiful huge screens in the QVL for really like drilling down the modulation, and then interstellar radio beside it because I want to do sample and hold for like some cool random stuff, or like I don't know, hopefully some audio rate glitching with that too. We'll just have to see how that goes. But yeah, and then asset beside it so I can attenuate it, because again, all these freaking things don't have attenuators on board, or offset it, which makes it great. And then all of this is near the data. So that was my thinking, was that like we'll have like big modulation hub in the corner. So yeah, and then moving up here was my vortices and my ultra kick. As you can probably notice, I put together colors and brands for whatever reason. It's kind of silly, but then there's that kick. There is the drum effects in here. I am absolutely over the moon with the Ghost. I've been using it in every patch to filter, sweep, and glitch, and compress, and sidechain my drums. Just like every patch, so I think that will remain as the drum bus effects permanently. We'll see. I do pull it into the other case for other stuff already, so we'll see what happens on that front. The rest of the drum modules I won't go over individually. Then a bunch of stuff that was in my little side shelf here, I've moved into the bottom rack here. There is the stereo strip and this MIDI clock from Blue Lantern. That thing is amazing. This, like, if I want to use Digitone with my modular system, this pair here, take the audio in, convert it to Eurorack level, do a little EQ if I want to. I probably wouldn't in the Digitone's case, but something else I could. And then this one, just dead simple, MIDI clock in, either 5-pin or 3.5mm jack, and then just clock division on board. No button combos, no menus, no bullshit. Just turn the clock division knob, and then you're set. And then it has 2 clock outputs too, so like, this thing, I know it's discontinued right now, but I just like simple utilities like this, I just am over the moon with. And then I move Lapsus Os into the case here because I can use it as VCA faders on the vortices. So I haven't used that yet, but I'm looking forward to using the vortices like a mixer so I can pretend I have faders. Blue Lantern, I ran out of room in the other row, so in it comes here. This is an 808 clone, which I believe uses all the original circuitry, but correct me if I'm wrong. Then there's full voices in the Ericson's Pico voice. The knit, I believe this one's broken. I can't remember. One of these is broken. Yeah, this is the broken one. And this one works? Yes. Yeah. I don't know. I worry about after-later audio modules, but we'll see how it goes. Maybe I can figure out how to fix the first one. The Templegio is another full voice I love. Again, just ran out of space on the drum row, so in there it goes. I got another mixer in here. There's only 4 inputs on that vortices, so this Doper narrow mixer can do that. There's also an attenuator here that's just kind of filling the space out to throw it in there. So yeah, then massive 42 HP blank is perfect. I have a couple odds and ends in here. The Trace, which I'm trying to sell. The black joystick, which fills the 12 HP space perfectly, and it's nice ergonomic spot in the corner for me. And then there is my Octatrack from Wish, which has some other different things I'm going to talk about. This doubles for both if I ever get the opportunity to play live with my own vocals and everything. This will be how I process it, but it also is how I record these videos. So my voice goes in here. I boost it as much as I can because I think this microphone has problems. I could be wrong on that front, but much gain as I can squeeze out of the little mic-y into the Soma Lyra effects, and it's just absolutely dimed, so I can get a little more gain out of it. And then in my live set, I can do stuff like this. Yeah. And you can self-modulate it too, so you can just drag it out and just I've been listening to a lot of Kumo 99, and they use this on stage for making like feedback stuff, and it sounds really cool. So self-modulation, and then crank the feedback up, and it'll just get into crazy town. And if I'm gonna wear ski mask and be a noise lawyer on stage, then maybe I just want to be in this territory. Dead left me. Okay. And then after that, and I might actually change this. Sorry, take the distortion off, leave the gain all the way cranked. I might reverse this order. So I was using the 2 HP slice in here, and I really love that, but this thing has Sorry, I unplugged myself. This thing has insane noise issues. Just listen to this. I'll crank it, but I can't use that. Yeah, like, I couldn't use that on stage. I know there's a lot of people in Eurorack who are, I would say, a little too overly concerned with noise. That is just, like, insane. That's, like, beyond reasonable. So, yeah. Anyway, Autodyne might go before the Soma, but then I also like, if you get a stage of compression after the Soma, then I'm less afraid about feeding it back, because I have at least something to compress it. Now, I do have reverb here, because I want to just, like, always have a little reverb on my vocals if I'm doing live. Then I also got Bitbox Micro Mark II. I know, it's going insane. Don't ask me about my line of credit. Hey, where's my distortion so loud? That's better. Okay. And the reason for that is because it has more CPU and more pads. So I talked in the other video, and I'm going to do a distinctly Octatrack from Wish Eurorack Octatrack video. But distinctly, you get more simultaneous tracks in this one and more pads to press them with. There's a lot of reasons to actually go for the micro, but I'm in a really unique scenario where I want more pads, and I want to be able to do, I don't want all the outputs. I get 2 stereo pairs. You can use the effects outputs as regular outputs, I believe. And I can just swap between my instrumental and my vocal backing tracks easily on here, with having more pad count, having double the pad count, which doesn't sound significant, but in that weird scenario where I'm in, very significant. I can use a crossfade to crossfade between my vocal and instrumental backing tracks. And then here is the crossfade between me and currently nothing, but would be the output of that crossfade. So, and then end of chain, we have Performer, always Performer. I was talking to somebody about Performer yesterday, and they said they didn't mesh with it, and I think they're crazy, because this is an all-timer for me. Just some end of chain reverb, tape stop, and then most importantly, these color effects. I wish these were one of the press buttons. I would easily trade the delay for this one, because these effects are freaking rad. But end of chain compression is just a nice extra layer of glue that I really like to have at the end of the chain. So that is the state of affairs. I have nearly everything on here, and then when I do want to bring in the beloved floating knobs cuisine, it can go on here somewhere as well. I haven't really thought about that part of it yet, but when I get over this pile of crap, I'm going to probably make a space that I can easily access all of those things, and like my digitone and the works will be better suited there. But I just spent like an hour and a half re-racking crap, so now will be a better time. Now I think well, here's the preview of some videos I want to talk about. I want to talk about that that Octatrack from Wish breakdown, that Eurorack Octatrack breakdown, where I go over the specifics of that 104 palette that sits on top of the other case that allows me to take it away easily. That's one. I want to also cover, I talked about spec phone we're going to do soon, but I want to talk about this as well. This is the Detroit Underground modular, or just Detroit Underground. This is the LFSR, which is linear frequency shift register, and this is the weirdest module I own. I know nothing about it. Someone gave me it and I thought it was broken, and there's a lot of things to talk about it on it, but can't find a manual. The old links to it are gone. Can't find any info on it other than it is the coolest looking thing I've ever seen. Like, look at that. It looks awesome. I have no clue how it works or what its deal is or how to operate it. So does that make for a good video? I don't know. We're going to have to see. yeah, I think I am going to make that video, even if it just like might inspire somebody to give me the manual or something. I'm just worried it's going to be like, what does it do? I don't know. What's a frequency shift register? I don't know. What does it mean to have it linear? I don't know either. Because the Zorlon canon, when it comes to frequency shift registers, I thought that was like a pitch shifter, right? Like, I thought it was like a Kozalin, Chaos Kozalin, that just like could do an octave down or an interval or like FM other audio sources, but it is not that at all. It is like a gate sequencer sort of generating random, crazy, binary sort of thing. And to go at that without a manual is crazy, because we're going to have to say, like, what does D mean? Is that an input? I don't know. Is it an output? I don't know. There's a clock input, which I don't know. What does it expect? Clock pulse wise. So that's a video, and then QVL might be the first video. We'll see. The other thing on the Detroit Underground module is that I thought it was broken. It's because I got it for free, so maybe I need to tell some of the story of how I got it. It's not incredibly interesting, but it's just like yeah, maybe I can talk about how someone gave it to me. I thought it was broken. There's kind of a funny story there, and then we can learn about it. So yeah, that's what I have in the pipe for now. I guess this rambling about episode was in the pipe too, and is no more. So on that note, thank you so much for watching. Take care. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that crap that YouTube's always on my case but not promoting to you, and I'll talk to you in the next video. See ya.